You may remember me saying that it doesn't take all that electronic circuitry to run an LED bulb. Well, yeah, actually in this case it did, because I should have remembered an LED bulb takes more than 1.5 volts. Well, that battery was 1.6 something when I tested it out there, but that's still not enough to run an LED. From what I remember from my fooling around days with transistors and electronics, an LED takes 3 point something volts through about 9 or thereabouts. I haven't looked it up for a while, so I forget. Anyway, all that was strictly a miniature power amplifier and nothing else. So it was allowing that 1.5 volt battery to make the LED work. Otherwise it wouldn't have. Anyway, thought I'd just throw that in. You may have noticed me using this little center finder before, and it works best on wood that hasn't been treated, like with the cactus juice, where the cactus juice is built up on the other side and it's really hard. I could hardly see where the lines were, but it did sort of work. Now, I'm not planning on using the tailstock here on this. All I want to do is have it help me to center the end. That's why I wanted to know where the center was. Now, if the ends of the cylinder had been square with the sides, I wouldn't have had to do this. I'd have just put it up against the face of the jaw and then tightened it up. Everything would have been fine. And needless to say, I don't want to come too far this way with the scraper, or I'm going to be catching, and that would be catastrophic. When I turned the dust collector on, the vacuum was so great it actually drew the plexiglass shield down and it was rubbing on the chuck, so I had to readjust things just a little. This turns a lot like mahogany, and that's all I'm gonna say. Now the idea is to cut a little tenon. Just cut in just this much. Okay, I think I can do that. I was lucky. If I had gone in any deeper, I'd have ruined this end. Anyway, I think I'll use the parting tool for that. Now if I close part of this off, like this area right here, it will cause the air to go in a lot faster right here. And the only problem is it could make sort of a howling sound. Well, we'll soon know. Now, the idea is I just sort of hollow this out. I got a feeling this is only going to be big enough for a couple of rings or maybe some small earrings. Yeah, I won't be using it anyway. Maybe my granddaughter will. Now, normally when I'm sanding the inside of a bowl or something, I'll use this. But this is way too small, so I can't use this right now. But, you know, I think once I get in there with the polish, it's going to look pretty nice. Now, I have to part this off here. Probably right about where that, right about where the joint is here. It's probably a good spot. Then hopefully I can turn this around and the chuck will grab this tenon. If I'm very careful and not break it. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Another thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to round this over. Just slightly. Well, you know Murphy's Law, if anything can go wrong, it will. So I'm not going to take a chance here and have this end up going into my dust collector. I'll just do it by hand here. You know, this saw's like mahogany too. And it's powdery like mahogany. Yeah, now if I can get that back in the chuck the other way, I can easily just take this down really nice. Okay, now very gently here now. I don't want to crush this. Yet I don't want it to come off either and get sucked in. I don't know. Give it a try. I'll just periodically check it and make sure that it's still snug. Well, I've sanded this down now with 400 grit. Now I think what I'm going to try to do is wrap something around this and put it back in this way. But maybe I don't need to. Yeah, well, yeah, maybe I should. Anyway, we're getting there. See how this is going to look here. Okay, I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take this down. Because as you can see, it doesn't go up far enough out of sight. It would be okay, but it would be a lot nicer if the bottom of this was right there on that shoulder.